Yeah, Les Paul. I wanted a Les Paul, and I remember I was living with my dad in Pennsylvania when I think I was in 8th grade, and you know, kids leave like Christmas lists on their door or wish lists or whatever. So I made up a Christmas list, and I cut out a picture of a Les Paul, and I wrote above it, "This is all I want." And I remember about the week preceding Christmas or whatever, there was a big ass box under the Christmas tree, and I was sure my dad bought me a Les Paul. I was so stoked. And when I opened it up, it was a little acoustic guitar, and I was totally bummed out. And he's like I got kind of bummed, you know, like any like kid who doesn't get quite what they want, you know what I mean? But the parent has made an effort to actually get them something cool, and I was kind of bummed out. And he's like, look, you get good on that, and I'll buy you a Les Paul, but get good on that first. So, I don't know. I mean, I think just be yourself, you know, and it's okay. It's totally okay to start emulating people that you dig. That's how I did it, and pretty much how everybody does it, you know. You hear some music and maybe some particular artists that kind of speak to you, and that probably gives you the bug, and you probably start like emulating those guys, you know. But at some point, you know, you're a unique individual, and you figure that out after a while, and maybe there's really nobody that plays quite like you play. You may have elements of, excuse me, you may have elements of all the people that you were inspired by, but at some point you kind of start being yourself, and it's okay to do that. That's actually what you want. I think that's everybody's goal, is to be able to have an identifiable sound. You know, when Eddie Van Halen hits one note, you know it's him because it sounds like him, or Angus Young for that matter, or James Hetfield. You know, I mean, there's nobody that sounds like those guys. You know, it just takes a note or two, and boom, recognizable. Okay, that's it, and that's the goal. You know, and to be able to kind of achieve that myself, it feels really good. Oh, geez. I could probably use a few from a lot of guys. I don't know, maybe Tony Iommi or Jimmy Page. Yeah. Oh, God. Strangest gig. What? I don't know. Trying to think. I remember we were playing, I don't really know if it's that strange. I mean, it's a funny story. When we were, excuse me, my throat's going out on me. I remember when we were first starting out, we played this VFW hall, and I mean, it could probably have been more than like 70, 80 people at it or whatever, and there was a bunch of bands. And the VFW hall had been running they were running a food drive all week, and part of the show was if you brought a can of food or a couple cans of food, you got a discount on your ticket to come into the show. But we were starving, you know. we were all living together in our rehearsal room, and we were fucking starving, man. So I remember we took Sean's drums and my guitar and went and put it in the car that we were borrowing to get to the show, and we filled up the empty cases with food so we could eat for a couple of days. That was kind of an odd gig that we did, you know, survival gig. Absolutely. When we toured with when we first toured with Van Halen, we went out and did a leg with them, and we hit it off with them really well, and they were really great to us. They gave us one of our first big breaks, and they kept asking us to come back on for further legs. We ended up being on tour with them for about 6 months, you know, and became really good friends with Ed, and to this day, you know, it's one of the friendships that I treasure the most. You know, I mean, we don't hang out all the time, but anytime I see him, he comes up and gives me a hug and a kiss, and he's just a really genuine guy, and we've always hit it off really well. And he had his guitar line. I think it was the Music Man version of his guitar, and he also had the 5150s when they first came out. And I asked him if I could maybe buy one off him, and he's like, "Fuck that, man." He's like, when you have nothing, nobody will give you shit, and when you have everything, like I have, fucking everybody gives you everything for free. It's like reversed. It should be the other way around, It's like, let me hook you up. So at the end of that tour, I came home, and I was living with my manager, one of my managers at the time, Kelly Curtis, and his wife. I was living downstairs at their house, and Kelly kind of greeted me at the door. He's like, "Hey, welcome back, man. Good tour. Now, would you mind getting your shit out of my fucking garage?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Eddie Van Halen filled up my garage full of shit for you." So he opened up the garage, and there was like a couple of full stacks, a couple of heads, and two of the EVHs. One particular being a gold top. And somebody somewhere along the line stole that from me, and I wish I had that guitar. I don't know where it is. It's still out there somewhere. Somebody has it. That guitar means a lot to me, but it was stolen many years ago. So, yeah. Anybody can sing. Some people are very gifted and very talented at it and are naturals, I don't really consider myself a natural singer. It's more just try, I mean, I never intended to be a lead singer, and at times I have been, and in this band I operate as one as well. William and I kind of work as a tandem, as a duo, but I always loved bands like that. I always loved bands like The Who. You got Pete Townsend and Roger Daltrey, two distinct voices, and I was like, the Beatles obviously is the key. They all sang, particularly George, Paul, and John, even Ringo sang. And if Ringo can sing, anybody can sing, And it's kind of I kind of started off as a backup singer, and I kind of got more confidence as I went along, and Lane particularly gave me a lot of confidence to be able to sing. I didn't really particularly think I had much talent at it, but he was always like, "Hey man, you can sing fine, you should sing more." So I did.